Welcome back to the Girl Cave. Today I'm going to give you a hack for creating a stitching pattern on your paper when you can't find one online and you don't have a Cricut or a Silhouette. Go on Google Images and look up coloring pages for whatever it is that you're looking for. So I knew that I wanted some fern leaves and I got this beautiful image. And I thought I wanted this one too, but I don't know if it's gonna fit or not. So I'm gonna stitch this down first. And if I have space, then I will add this little fern. So you can mix and match your images. You don't have to just pick one coloring page. So I have my paper and then I print this on flimsy printer paper because you don't want it to be too thick. Your paper that you're stitching on, don't get too thin of a paper, but you don't have to use heavyweight cardstock either. Just a medium weight will suffice. You're gonna put a background paper to cover the stitches anyway. But if you use paper that is too thin, it might rip as you either punch the holes or stitch through them. Next, I take my image and I place it on the paper where I want the image to be. And I use some inexpensive washi tape from the dollar store, which is not very tacky, just to hold it in place. And then underneath I have a mouse pad turned upside down so that I can punch holes through that. So now this is not going to move because it's held in place with that washi tape, and I can just use a punching tool. So this is actually from Amy Tangerine, like a stitching kit that she sold that came with templates for like an alphabet, and it came with a little tiny mouse pad. Yeah, Amy Tangerine, a little tiny mouse pad, but that's too tiny for what I wanted to do today. And then some, you can get that on Amazon, that's where I got it. And it comes with this, but tell you what, this you can get at the Dollar Tree and it works just as well. So it's just a little pokey tool and it's very, very sharp. So I like this one better actually. The only thing is the holes are tiny. The first thing that I want to tell you is look at your image. I have two ferns here, two fronds here. So try and punch first the one that's behind and then work your way to the upper image. So this one is behind, so I'm gonna punch the holes on that one first, and then once I'm done with that, I'd like to do the stem first. I did the stem up to here, then I did these fronds, and then I did these fronds, and then afterwards I did the one on top, again going through the stem, and then this side of the fronds, and then this side of the fronds. So just, does it have to be exact? No, it's a fern. It's very forgiving. Actually, plants in nature, like if you really, really look at them, they're not perfect. There's a little bit of imperfection makes it beautiful. And then you just punch a hole. So I still have to do this bottom leaf. And then once you get into a groove, you'll find that you kind of reach, like you kind of know how far apart your little pokey holes will be. So as you're poking your holes, don't worry too much about how far apart the holes are from each other. Eventually, the more that you do it, like you'll see that you move your hands at the same rate eventually, so it'll work out. And then all you have to do is lift this up, and there is your image. Now you see here, I got a little happy and I have a little hole there. That's perfectly fine, because you know what? That's where my picture is gonna go anyway. And once you use your thread and you go through it, like it will hold some of it down. And also this is gonna be back to another paper, so once I put the adhesive down, that's gonna like go down onto the other sheet of paper, so don't worry too much about that. But right here, my pictures are gonna go right there anyway. And then this paper already had a little bit of imperfection I'm not worried about it because that's where my title is going to be. So now I'm just gonna sit down and work on stitching this. And it's very relaxing. So this is good for those days where you can't focus, you want to do something creative, but maybe you don't have your pictures ready. Maybe you just don't feel like scrapbooking, but you want to do something. And listen, this is paper. We have so much paper. So if you mess it up, not a big deal. Start all over again. It is not a big deal, but this gives you the opportunity of taking just a plain piece of paper and making something more unique, more tailored to your page. Have fun. It's paper. If you mess it up, oh well, pick another paper, start all over again. Not a big deal. The printer paper is cheap. You got a printer at home, print it. If not, buy yourself a coloring book from the Dollar Tree. That works too, okay? So now I'm going to pick through my DMC threads, and these are so inexpensive. Sometimes they put them on sale for like $1 each. They have so many colors. So I'm doing fern, so I have two, and I want to make sure that you can tell that one fern is behind the other. So I'm gonna do 2 colors. I'm gonna do a light one and a dark one. So I'm thinking I would like this one, and this goes a long way because you're not using 6 strands. When you're doing it on paper, I would suggest that you use maybe 2, maybe 3 strands at the most. So I already have this one in 3 strands, so I'm gonna use 3. And I think I like that one, and I'm gonna keep it out so that I don't get confused. And let's see, this is more like a grayish green. I might use that one. That looks cute. So, and I have a lot of these because I do a lot of handwork with my quilting. I like to do embroidery on my quilting, so I have a lot. Ooh, look at this. This one's pretty too. Ooh, but it's a little too much. Just a little too much. Look at this one. I don't want it to be too dark and too serious because I want my page, even though it's like it's gonna be a little bit playful, not too playful, but just enough. All right, so where did I get this one from? I'll put it away somewhere. So I'm gonna pick my colors and then I'll come back and show you how I stitch this. I've chosen my 2 colors. I have a light one and a dark one. And this one is number 732, DMC 732, and this one is 3347. And I like them because they're just beautiful, aren't they? So I'm gonna start with the one that's in the background. Makes it a lot easier. And I have 3. So this comes with 6 strands, and you just separate them into 3. This one actually only has 2, and I think I'm gonna try it with 2 and see if I like it or not. So I'm not gonna put a knot on it because for 2 reasons. If I don't like it, I can just take it out and then use 3 strands if 2 seems to be not thick enough. And also, if I do a knot, then it creates a little bit of a bulk back there. So what I'll do is I'll start it, I'll leave a little tail, and then I'll tack it down with some washi. I'll probably use a little better quality washi so that it stays. But again, once I finish this, I'm gonna use cardstock on the background to mat it. So it's gonna be fine. It's not gonna move around. Now, here's the big decision. Do I start at the top or do I start at the bottom? Decisions. I think I'm going to start at the bottom. So keep the picture with you so that you know where to start. So if I see right here, this is the stem of one, that's the dark one. And then this is the stem of the lighter one. It kind of curves here, kind of curves, and it goes right here. So I'm going to start with my leaves. And I'm going to start right here at the corner. So I'm going to leave that much. And let me get some washi and tack that down. Make sure that you don't put it on top of those that section right there, because you're going to sew through that. You don't want your needle to be gummed up or make it difficult for you. So there you go. And now that I'm here, I'm just going to do a simple straight stitch. I just go in one, and then I'm going to go to the next one. Now, if I went in here, I would have that gap. So what I'm going to do is now go back into the last one. And I continue doing that throughout the entire page. So does this take a lot of time? I would say that punching the holes is what's going to take the most time. But the stitching actually goes by really, really quickly. And it's enjoyable. It's something that you can do while you're watching a video, while you are watching TV. You could also do this in the car. It goes by really, really fast. So right here, I feel like I didn't do it tight enough. Like there's a little gap there. So not a problem. With my needle, I can pull it, not too tight because you don't want to rip your paper. And you continue doing that until you have your whole image. Paige Evan has some great stitching patterns, and she has some cut files as well where you get the download immediately, and you can run it through your Silhouette or your Cricut, and it will actually do the cutting for you, like the poking. But I couldn't find online a pattern that I wanted to use. So I made my own using a coloring page, and I could scan it and then try and have Cricut punch the holes for me. But I feel like this is part of the fun process. Like, it's so relaxing. Think about it. Like, if you are having a really bad day, you can imagine that you are poking someone's eye out with this. Like, oh, this is the person that got me so mad today. You know what? I'm going to poke your eye out. Nah, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. Don't do that. Think of a better way to deal with your stress. But honestly, maybe Will Smith could benefit from this. And on that note, I will see you again next week. But before you leave, please hit that like button. And if you haven't done so yet, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. I would love to have you be part of my community. And again, come back again next week. Bye.